What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. Today I want to discuss a tragedy that occurred in the Bay Area, Santana Row, on Valentine's Day. 15-year-old kid named David Gutierrez. He went out to he took his girlfriend out for Valentine's Day. Happened to be wearing the color red and was attacked by a group of kids, a group of teenagers that were Southerners, right? And after the initial skirmish, allegedly, one of the Southerners, a 13-year-old, jumped on David while he was still on the ground and stabbed him a few times, and one of the wounds actually went through his heart, and David died at the hospital. You know, these Southerners, they were out hunting. You know, this is what, you know, gangbanging is. They knew they wanted to go out and hunt down a Northerner or some Northerners, and they actually dressed in red in order to be able to creep up on a Northerner or some Northerners, whatever their plan was. And they unfortunately found David. And David was not a gang member. By all accounts so far, David wasn't even a gang member. I want to get into the difference in generations. You know, I'm about to be 51. And when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, if we were hunting and we saw an enemy with this old lady or with this mother or with this child or anything, they automatically got a pass. Don't get me wrong. We'd be like, hey, Owens, we'll catch you next time. We'll let them know, like, we had you and there will be a next time and we'll get you. But we would never disrespect whatever women that rival was with. We would never think to attack a dude in front of his lady or his mother. And so when I hear about this kid who's not a gang member, it's unfortunate. You know, he happened to be wearing a color that the guys that went out that day were looking for him. I guess they don't hit people up anymore. Hey, Owens, where you from? And if they say, I don't bang, I'm not from nowhere. It used to be, lift your shirt up. And they would look for tattoos. Because if you're going to rank, you know, and not claim your neighborhood, you probably have it on you if you're from a neighborhood. And if you jam somebody up, hey, where you from? I ain't from nowhere. Lift your shirt up. Owens, let me see it. And then no tattoos. Okay. He must not be from a neighborhood. And if he is, he ain't that serious about it. He didn't tack it on him. I guess they don't do that nowadays. I guess they just go by what people wear, and they don't care who they're with. They don't care about being respectful. Now, I watched some news coverage of this from the Bay Area, and I was shocked to hear that now in California they have a law where no one under the age of 14 can be incarcerated in a lockdown facility. So if this 13-year-old who actually allegedly dealt the death blow, if he gets found guilty, he will do 6 to 8 months in an unlocked facility. You know, in my era, he would have got a juvenile life sentence, and he would have went to the California Youth Authority at the age of 13 and been held there probably until his 25th birthday. And the California Youth Authority was horrible. I did over 3 years there, and it was horrible, right? That place. But for someone to not have to face any charges or not be held accountable for something like that, it's leading to what else I heard in the news coverage. They were speaking to an attorney, and the attorney said that this case is an example of how maybe we have gone too far towards trying to rehabilitate criminals. That's scary language for those that are already behind the walls doing life. How anybody could think that people have gone too far towards rehabilitation when this kid isn't even going to be incarcerated. Those are two different things. That's not incarceration. That's too far into being lenient, maybe, but not a rehabilitation. Excuse me, I meant to say rehabilitation a second ago. This kid deserves to be incarcerated. I am someone who did decades in prison, and I know that the only thing that made me change was how much time I was doing in my the amount of time I had to finally figure out to look within myself and stop looking at other people and blaming other people for what I chose to do. The fact that an attorney said maybe we've gone too far into wanting to rehabilitate people, that could undo some stuff that is very helpful for lifers currently, like the laws that changed in order for me to be able to get out. If this case does something to affect those laws, that would be a tragedy. And only one of them was 18. When I say teenagers, 18 is still a teenager. Let's make sure we understand. But only one of them is 18. He wasn't involved. He wasn't even there when supposedly the 13-year-old stabbed him. They had already been chased off. The 13-year-old, I guess, came back, or I don't know. I'm not really clear on that. But if the 18-year-old gets some kind of assault or something and goes to a California prison, and while he's there, if there are some drastic changes to the laws, I would hate to be that 18-year-old. I would hate to be on a yard and have everyone know of every faction, of every ethnicity on that yard, have them all know that they just lost their chance of going home because of you. That would be a very dangerous thing. And it isn't hard to believe that someone would say, because of you, I can't go home. Now you're going home in a box. That's the reality of a California prison system. This right here, you know, I look back on, you know, my teenage years and the dumb things I was doing, and I knew, like I said, if you're with your lady, we're not fucking with you. And back then, the laws were you do something, you're going away, and it didn't stop us. But there are people who did go into the youth authority. Not a lot, but there are people that went into the California Youth Authority, which was prison for kids. It's been shut down. In this case, who knows, may cause them to rethink keeping them shut down. And that would be... But there are some kids, a small percentage, that went to the California Youth Authority and actually changed. I think those are probably guys that went to fire camps or, you know, certain programs, because there was no type of rehabilitation in the California Youth Authority. They didn't care about going to school. You went to school to fight. You didn't go to school to study. You fought all the time in the dorm. You fought everywhere you went. It was just always fighting. And it made monsters. But this is just a sad, sad story. A 15-year-old kid wanting to impress his girlfriend and take her out, and that little girl is going to be traumatized seeing her boyfriend murdered. It's senseless. All murder is senseless, man. I'm going to go ahead and bring this one to a close. And we're going to have to stay tuned and see what type of effect does this case have on the laws, on lifers, and on the community. It's my video for today. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.